All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning. This is Dan with Ledger Support. Hope everybody is doing well. Great. Okay, I see some questions streaming in the chat. Before we start, let me just introduce myself. My name is Dan. I work for Ledger at customer support. So this is a stream where you can ask all your questions. So if you're facing any problem with your Ledger device, you've got a question about cryptocurrency, something that's supported by Ledger or not. Basically, if you have any questions, I'm gonna be here for the next hour answering every question. So just drop it in the chat and I'll try my best to help you out. Sometime I will need you to, some questions I cannot obviously answer live because they involve a transaction or things a little more complex, in which case I will direct you to our help center to open a ticket, and you can find the help center in the video description, support.ledger.com. This is where you can open a ticket just like this. Okay, so that being said, I'll try my best to help you out. Just drop your question in the chat. One last disclaimer before we start. There's a lot of scammers in crypto, especially if you are active on Twitter. Twitter is an absolute paradise for scammer. Lots of fake Ledger support or Ledger accounts. So just be careful. Again, there is only one legit support account. That would be Ledger underscore support. This one with a little golden check mark and a little Ledger badge here. This is the legit account. Any account, anyone that's asking you to type your recovery phrase is trying to scam you. Okay, never share your 24-word recovery phrase. Anyone that gets a hold of your phrase will be able to steal your funds even though they don't have your device, okay? Great. With that out of the way, let's begin. By the way, please drop a yes in the chat if you can hear me. Just want to make sure you guys have a good experience during the live, and then we'll start. So the first question is from Ayub El Greeny. Not a question, but saying hello. So hello, Ayub. If you have any questions, go for it. Drop it in the chat. Thanks, Bar. Next question is from Lee Wild. Hello, Lee. Next question from RR, checking in. Hi, RR. If you have any questions, same, drop in the chat. So next question is from Bar. This one is a question, or I should say a request. Please add Core DAO app in your Ledger Live. Please add Core Chain. Okay, so Core Chain. I'm not familiar with Core Chain, actually. Core Chain, without you. Core Chain. All right, so I'm guessing that Core Chain is a token, Core Chain technology. Maybe this. Yeah, actually, Bar, if you could maybe share a link of what crypto or project you want integrated, that will help me, because it could be this project here, but it could be something completely different. So it would definitely help if you could give me some more information about the project you would like integrated into Ledger Live, so I can escalate this feedback. But generally, if you know the Core Chain team, they can reach out to us on Discord. Discord is where most of our developers hang out. So you can very simply go to ledger.com, okay, the ledger.com website. At the bottom, there's a link to our Discord community right here. And then, the Core Chain team can join our developers via there. I'll drop the link for you in the chat. Core Chain, yeah, okay, so you're saying yes. Yeah, so the best way is for their developers to contact our developers via Discord, and we can work on an app. And again, the best way to reach out to us is via Discord, which you can find at the bottom here. All right, this link. Okay, next question. BT, okay, thank you BT for doing the moderation. Next question, Evan, probably Evan. How do I send a message using an existing Bitcoin account and wallet on a Ledger Nano X? How do I send a message? So I'm guessing you mean like any arbitrary message with your Ledger device. That will require a third-party wallet because Ledger Live will not let you do this. So you can probably use something like Electrum, signing message, Bitcoin. Yeah, here you go. So here's a tutorial. It's probably a little outdated, but the steps should be roughly the same. How to send a message in Bitcoin with Electrum. Yeah, so first you would need to download and install Electrum, and we do have documentation on how to do this. And then you connect your Ledger device to Electrum, and then you go through the steps to sign a message with your Ledger device. Maybe you're trying to prove ownership of an address or an account, and this would be the way to do it. Let me drop this link here for you in the chat, so at least you know where to find Electrum and how to connect your Ledger device to it. Evan. And I hope I answered your question, Evan, but let me know if I didn't, or if you have any other questions. Okay, next. Sonny Anderson. Will Ledger allow for trading for BNB Tiger, PayPay, White Lion, etc., etc.? So I don't know about BNB Tiger. PayPay, well, so PayPay, you can already trade it in the sense that you can swap it. So you can use the swap function here. PayPay, see there is trading, but it's only on Ethereum. There is also a DEX called 1inch. There is another one called PairSwap as well, but you can use 1inch to trade your PayPay for another cryptocurrency. You can even bridge your PayPay from one chain to another by using something like Squid. So there's plenty of ways you can trade PayPay for something else. And if White Lion, for example, is a token on a blockchain and it's on an EVM blockchain, you can probably trade it using 1inch as well. White Lion. There's so many tokens. Okay, so probably not here, but and yeah, BNB Tiger, probably something that's on the Binance Smart Chain. In this case, you just go to 1inch, you select your Binance Smart Chain account, and then try to find the token here. BNB Tiger. Yeah, see? You can import it, and then you can trade it for something else. That's it, very easy. Okay, next question. C. Thanks in advance. I tried to update Ledger the first time and it keeps circling back. Wish I could update it to move a coin to an exchange, but unable to update the Ledger Nano S. Okay. That might be an issue, yeah. Ledger Nano S devices, especially if you haven't updated the firmware to the latest version, that firmware already came out like a long time ago, but if your device is on an old version, that might be an issue. But now, depending on what coin you're trying to move, you might as well try to use a third-party wallet instead of Ledger Live. But I would need to know which coin you're trying to move and to give you more information about what you could try. So yeah, if you could provide this information, that would help me give you a workaround. I'll also link this for you. Update firmware. That might help. If not, just tell me which token you're trying to move, and we'll try to do it without Ledger Live. Trying to move Gala. Okay, trying to move Gala. So Gala, we do have documentation about Gala. Let me drop that for you. Gala, I know that there was a conversion. You had to convert the old token for the new token. You can always Gala, if I remember correctly, Gala is on Ethereum, so you can always use if Ledger Live won't let you do it, try to connect your Ledger Nano S to MetaMask, for example. You try to find your Gala there and move them. I'll drop that in the chat for you as well. Let's see. Okay. I'll get back to you if you have more questions. Keep dropping them in the chat. Okay, next question. Miss M. Halawa. Can one link ledger to bank to sell crypto to fiat money? Yes. Yes, you can, but the options to sell crypto into fiat, into bank accounts are limited currently in Ledger Live. So you would go to this buy sell option here in Ledger Live. Then you click on the sell section, then you choose your assets. The issue being that for now, there's only one asset that's supported, and that's Bitcoin. But you could, if you have your money in Bitcoin, or if you convert your crypto to Bitcoin, then you would be able to sell that amount. And then this service provider called Coinify would be able to sell the Bitcoin for you, send it to your bank account. That's one way to do this, and I'll drop some documentation for you here that can help. So that's one way to do it. Another way would be to use something like BTC Direct, that is in the Discover section of Ledger Live here. That being said, that's only available if you are located in Europe. Otherwise, you won't be able to do it. But if you are, and you have a European bank account, then you can also try that. I'll drop some documentation for that as well. The cool thing about BTC Direct is they support more coins than just Bitcoin. So there's a little more options here. You can see they support Tether, USDC, and a bunch of other stuff. So it's a good way to sell crypto, but it's only into euros, and you need a bank account in a European country. Okay. Regardless, I'll drop that in the chat as well, in case you might be interested. Okay, next question from Luis Felipe. Hi, when would you support runes on Bitcoin? So runes are currently not supported in Ledger Live. You can still send your runes to your Bitcoin Taproot accounts. That's doable, but you would need something like Xverse, this wallet, to see your runes. But the problem with Xverse now is that you cannot move the runes. So currently with a Ledger device, there is no good ways to manage runes, because either you send your runes to Xverse as a hot wallet, but you can't use your Ledger device, or you use your Ledger device with Xverse, but then your runes are stuck on your Ledger until we update the Bitcoin app. So I would recommend not to send runes to your Ledger account for now, but it is doable, and I will drop some documentation if you are interested. But for now, just I would rather not do it. Luis. So yeah, I'll drop this link here in the chat for you if you want to take a look. But make sure you read this disclaimer, basically saying that it's not recommended to use Xverse with a Ledger device, just because of the limitation on the Bitcoin app on your device. You might not be able to send, you will not be able to send runes out of your wallet once they are in your Ledger account. Next question, Leith Wild. Hi Dan, my question is, with privacy coins such as Dash, how do you use them? So Dash is supported in Ledger Live, but the privacy features of Dash are not supported in Ledger Live. So if you want to use Dash with the privacy feature, you would have to connect your Ledger device to a Ledger compatible Dash wallet that also supports those privacy features. I don't have one in mind because I'm not a big user of Dash, but maybe we have one here. No, there must be like something like Electrum, Dash Electrum. Let me check. Because Dash is, at the end of the day, Dash is just a fork of Bitcoin. So here, there is Electrum Dash Wallet. So you could potentially download that. Then you connect your Ledger device with your Dash in there to Electrum Dash. And then you will be able to use those privacy features. We don't have documentation on it, but that's probably the way I would do it. Let me share that link for you in the chat. If you want something that's natively private, you might as well use something like Monero. That's probably more private. I think Zcash also has a privacy, but again, those privacy features are not supported in Ledger Live. So, yep. Next question from RR. Hey Dan, the key recovery feature, do we need to approve it with the device or not? So if you mean Ledger Recover, then yes, you absolutely need to, not only you need to approve it on your device to activate the service, but you also need to pay for the service. By default, the service is not activated, so Ledger Recover is not active on your accounts. It's only opt-in, so you have to physically like pay, subscribe to Ledger Recover, and there is a way to do it via this tab here. So you have to create a Ledger Recover account, then you have to physically confirm creating the account on your Ledger device, and then you can shard your seed. But again, it's not something that is activated by default or anything like that. You will need to activate it yourself. And the reason being that that's in line with Ledger philosophy, which is that at the end of the day, you are the sole owner of your private key. So if you're not interested in a service like Ledger Recover, then we will not push Ledger Recover to you if you don't want to use it. It's absolutely optional. I hope I answered your question here, because I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but Ledger Recover. I'll drop some documentation for you here if you're interested in the feature. Ledger Recover is interesting as a feature, but it's not something that's for everybody. I understand that. But if you do want to learn more about it, then you can check that link here. What's your name? Oh yeah, RR, sorry. Okay. Next question from Angel Gomez. Hi team, thanks for your help. Do you consider adding near blockchain tokens in Ledger Live as ref finance main DEX for near protocol? No, I mean, yes, eventually, near tokens will be supported in Ledger Live, but not short term. For now, you're better off using a third-party wallet like Sender wallet. But eventually, that will come into Ledger Live. Of course, the goal of Ledger Live is to support absolutely everything and integrate as many DEXs and apps as possible. Okay, next question. Mr. Fantastico, when are you planning to add Meta Network? I don't know, actually. It's I don't know if there is a project to add Meta Network yet. However, again, if you know the Meta team and if they are keen to develop on Ledger, they can reach out to our developers via our Discord, and you can find the link to the Discord on ledger.com. Okay, so just go to ledger.com, you scroll all the way down to this section here, stay in touch, and you can join our Discord, and this is where all the developers hang out. And the Meta team can start working with our team to bring an app to the Ledger device, and maybe in the future, Ledger integration as well. Okay, next question. Gruber, which Ledger has the most storage? Ledger Nano S Plus, Nano X, Ledger Stax? I believe it's the Stax. So that would go Ledger Stax and Nano X and Nano S Plus have the same amount of storage. Now, one thing to consider when thinking about storage, first of all, if you run out of storage on a device, right, you can always remove apps. So for example, it happens to me all the time, right, because I have to use many blockchains because of my work. So my Ledger Nano S here will max out the storage. So for example, I'll show you in a second what I mean by that. So the storage will be maxed out because, I've got too many apps installed, right? But what you can do is you can grab one of your installed apps. So for example, Cosmos, I can uninstall Cosmos, and then I can install a different app, create my account, do my crypto things, And then later, when I need to use my Cosmos account again, I can reinstall Cosmos on the Ledger device and keep using my Cosmos account. You will notice that although the Cosmos app is gone from my device, my Cosmos account is still here, right? It's just that I won't be able to use it because the Cosmos app is gone from my device. So that's one solution. The second thing to consider is the size of the firmware, right? So different devices support different features, and the firmware is that piece of software that lives on the device, and that has it takes a certain amount of capacity on your device. For the Stax, the Stax support more features, so the firmware will be bigger, whereas something like the Nano S Plus as well has a smaller firmware. You see here, for example, there is a difference between this number, the capacity, and the free space that I have, right? You see, like, I've got this amount free, that's the maximum capacity, but I've only used that for apps, so the difference is the firmware, if that makes sense. Okay, next question. And also Gruber, storage, app storage, it doesn't mean you're limited in the amount of coins you can send, right? So it doesn't matter, once you have a Bitcoin account, or an Ethereum account, or a Tron account, or whatever account, you can send as many coins as you want, because the coins are not physically in the device, right? What's in the device are the private keys. Next question from Ayub, how much to purchase the Ledger Stax, and is it as good as the previous Ledgers? Yeah, it's probably better in terms of features. I've used it myself. I would say it's better. It's just as safe, but in terms of security, like, they're all as secure. But if you like big screen, the way to personalizing your screen, you like something that looks more like a phone, then the Stax is for you. In terms of like how much will that cost, I cannot tell you. I don't know how much will it cost once we because right now we shipping the pre-orders, right? Once we're done with that, we'll make the Stax available on the store again. And I don't know if the price is still going to be the same or changed. Probably the same, but we'll see. Next question from Evan: why does Ledger Live not include the ability to send a message? Is there a reason I need to make sure the wallet works before I send BTC to it without making an entry on the blockchain? Evan, you don't have to worry about this. You can sign transactions, right? If that's what you mean by signing a message, if you mean like a transaction, you can definitely use a Bitcoin account and then send Bitcoin from your account, receive, send, all the things that you need for the normal Bitcoin use. It's only if you mean like signing a message, and by message I mean like you type, you want something that's not a transaction to be on the blockchain. For example, you want to sign a message that says, "Hi, my name is Evan, I own this account," then that's not a feature that's supported in Ledger Live. It's more advanced. But in terms of, using Bitcoin, send and receive, then of course that's supported. Next question, Crypto J. I have two questions. First, will there be any support for XRPL tokens, storing them on the Ledger? Second, will there be more storage space for the Ledger S? So first question, XRPL tokens. Yes, eventually we will support XRPL tokens. But who knows when, right? It depends on bandwidth, like our developers' bandwidth, that's what I mean. Second, will there be more storage space for the Ledger S? No. The Ledger S is a sunset device. We no longer shipping new firmware updates for the Nano S. And I mean the Nano S, right? The legacy device, like this guy here. So if I were you, I would definitely upgrade to Nano S Plus. Much more storage, much better experience, and it still has the feel of a Nano S Plus, of a Nano S. Sonny Anderson: Binance doesn't allow for US citizens, so I can't swap for BNB Tiger. Okay, well, you can use a DEX in this case. Sony, you just use 1 inch. You can swap 1 inch for whatever else. Like, for example, you swap BNB Tiger for, I don't know, BNB, right? So you convert everything into BNB, and then you use, I don't know, you can use another like squid to bridge this BNB to a different chain, and then you move it to an exchange, a different exchange. So I'm not really sure. Yeah, you can do your swaps. You can do your swaps in Ledger Live for sure. You don't need the Binance exchange. Here, let me share with you the link to the 1-inch tutorial so you can experiment yourself. Swap crypto with 1-inch. Here you go. I'll drop this link in the chat for you, Sonny. Okay. All right, I'm gonna drink a bit and carry on. Okay, next question is from Bogdan Sava. Hi, regarding MiCA legislation in Europe, I heard that they want to regulate all non-custodial wallets such as MetaMask Trust wallets and limit deposits on these non-custodial wallets. Do you know if Ledger will be affected? So, okay, we're getting a lot of questions about MiCA. So, first of all, MiCA doesn't apply to Ledger. Okay, so if there are regulations, they will be on the exchange, but not on Ledger devices themselves, because Ledger is not a VASP, right? It's not a virtual asset service provider. It's not an exchange. It's just a tool for creating a wallet privately, right? So that's the first thing. Now, in terms of will exchange be regulated, and will MiCA say that, hey, exchanges, now you are limited to the amount of crypto you can transfer to a third-party wallet? I don't know. That might be something that gets applied to exchanges. And because they are the main on-ramp, when people buy crypto, they buy their crypto into an exchange first, and then they send their crypto to their own wallet. So yeah, if Europe wants to regulate that, they will put regulations on the exchange mainly. But again, Ledger itself, once you've got your coins on the Ledger, then you will not be affected by those regulations, right? If that makes sense. Leith, Dan, can you sell XRP on Ledger Live and can you stake? So XRP cannot be staked. It's one of those crypto, only proof of stake crypto can be staked. XRP is not a proof of stake coin, so therefore it cannot be staked. Can you buy it? Yes, you can. You go into buy sell section here and you select XRP, and then you will be prompted to select your account, and then you can buy with one of the service provider, right? So it's very easy to buy XRP directly into your Ledger account via a service provider. So just go into buy sell. Now, if you want to stake, I would recommend a different coin, and you're free to choose the one you like the most. I'll just give you a list of the coins that you can stake directly within Ledger Live, and then you can do your research and select what you like the best. Leith up. So check the article in the chat here. Okay, so Bogdan, I hope I answered your question. So again, MiCA will affect exchanges, not Ledger. But if exchanges decide to limit the amount of funds that they want to transfer outside the exchange, that it's on them, right? And we cannot really control that. Next question from Toga.dot. Any time frame to fix Polkadot staking nomination and withdrawal? So I know it's been an issue for people that stake a large amount of dots, I think over 2K of dots. It doesn't affect everybody equally. I would say right now you're probably better off using something like Talisman, or you connect your Ledger device to Talisman, or you connect it to the Polkadot staking dashboard for managing your stakes. It's just as safe as using Ledger Live. I'll drop these links in the chat for you, Toga. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no worries, man. No worries, Bogdan. No worries, Leith. If you guys have any more questions, go for it. I'm gonna be here for another 20 minutes, so yeah, don't hesitate. I'm gonna drink a bit of water and I'll keep going. Okay, next question from Ayub. Is it possible to send crypto from Trust Wallet to Ledger or the opposite without any issues? Yes, absolutely. You can have your crypto on Trust Wallet, send it to your Ledger wallet, and then from your Ledger wallet to Trust Wallet, you can do both without any issue. It's just a transaction, right? It's just a normal transaction. It doesn't really care. Your Ledger device doesn't really care if you're sending to Trust Wallet or Binance or an exchange or a Bitcoin wallet or any other wallet. From the point of view of a Ledger device, it's all wallets and addresses on the blockchain. That's all. Next question from Alexis. When Moon? Soon, hopefully. I mean, yeah, I know it's been looking a bit grim, but yeah, I think as usual in crypto, patience is always good, because the market will never do exactly what you want it to do. But we'll see. Okay, next question from Majin Bucks. Octaspace is not available yet in Ledger. Any plan to add it? Octaspace. Okay, I guess this project here looks like it's a independent blockchain. All right. No, you're right. It's not supported. No plans to support it, but again, we are an open platform. If you know the team, they can reach out to us via our Discord. You can find the Discord at ledger.com here. You just need to scroll all the way down to the section. I'll show you in a second. So you basically go to ledger.com, scroll all the way down. There's a link to our Discord here, and you can share that with the developers, the Octa Plus developers. And if they want to make that happen, then they'll get in touch via Discord, because this is where our developers live. Next question. Can I use Ledger in Nigeria? I think so, yeah. I think we do ship in Nigeria. So Nigeria. Yeah, I don't see why not. Okay, so you can't use Ledger Recover, but that's one service, and you're probably not interested. Yeah, so definitely, see, like, Nigeria is listed here. Yep. So Nigeria, you can buy a Ledger device from us, and then it takes about 4 to 6 weeks with non-express delivery, and like a week with express delivery. So yeah, you can also get your device via a reseller. There might be a Ledger reseller in Nigeria. Let's see. No, okay, never mind. Yeah, so you can just buy your device from us, ledger.com. Jiho, that was a question from Jiho. Sorry, I forgot to read your name. So yeah, Jiho, I'm gonna drop the link to the store here for you in the chat, so you can choose your device. And yes, we ship to Nigeria. Kadeem Fall, can you store PGP keys on your device and use it for encrypting and decrypting text on the device? No, you can't. I don't think this feature is supported. There's a lot of things you can do cryptography wise with the Ledger device. For example, you can create passwords. There is a cool feature called the security keys as well. But as far as like storing PGP keys to encrypted like arbitrary text, I'm not sure. But hey, take a look at the other things that your Ledger device could do. I'll drop this article for you, Kadeem. Next question from Tech. Adding and deleting apps will speed up the end of life of the device, won't it? Yes, of course, like using the device generally, powering the device will speed up the end of life. But that being said, your device is designed to, process those kind of operations and keep working. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. If you have a Ledger Nano X with a battery, you need to be careful when you use the battery. Don't let the battery completely discharge. The Nano X is designed to be used regularly, unlike a Nano S Plus, which doesn't have a battery. Apart from that, a Ledger Nano S Plus with no battery can last a very long time. I used to have a Nano S that lasted me like almost 7 years back in the days. So yeah, you're welcome, Kadim. Peter, hi. Dot assets not already marked as bonded. Switching to dot dashboard would take a month for unbonding. What if you fix the issue in a week? Would be a waste of time. No, I mean, the dot dashboard is not going to be longer because you switch to the dot dashboard. It's just going to be the same thing. Because this 28 days unbonding period is enforced by the Polkadot network, not by Ledger Live or the Polkadot dashboard. So it doesn't matter if you use Ledger Live or the dashboard or Talisman or anything else to unbond, it will always be 28 days. Yeah, so you can just connect your Ledger device to your dashboard, unbond there, do you manage your staking or use Talisman if Ledger Live won't let you do it. Next question, Leith. Oh yeah, okay, so I answered that. Next question from Vabav Rimcar. How to transfer SUI to Ledger? We do have documentation on that, Vabav. So you will have to download the SUI app on your Ledger device using Ledger Live. Okay, so you would connect your Ledger device to Ledger Live. Just like this. It's taking a lot of time today. I don't know why. Anyway, so you would download the SUI app just like that. It will pop on the device. Right. So download the SUI app. It's processing. Okay, so that's what you need on the device. Then you can click away from the My Ledger. Make sure you close Ledger Live. And then you follow those steps here. So those steps will show you how to connect your Ledger device to a third-party wallet called the SUI wallet. And that's how you can, so you will connect your Ledger device to the SUI wallet, and then you use the SUI wallet to generate a SUI address, and then you can send your SUI to that address, and it's just as safe as using Ledger Live. I'll share this link with you here, so you can do the steps in your own time. Next question, Vasu V. Why is my Ledger Live desktop and mobile only showing the fresh address path? Though I have the latest fresh address gap limit with 500 is also not helping. Interesting. I don't know how to enforce the fresh address path and force to scan till that address. Yeah, that's a good question. You might have to use a third-party wallet for this. You know what, Vasuvi? That's a good candidate for a support tickets, so we can take a look at this and maybe give you a solution here. So I would definitely go to support.ledger.com, open a ticket, use the contact us button here, explain your issue, and we'll get back to you with an answer. But like off the top, I'm not sure how to fix this issue here. So I'll just drop the link to the support page where you can open a ticket. Mustafa Lam. Hello Dan, my Ledger Nano X battery problem. What should I do? So we do have a page that will give you some troubleshooting steps for solving battery issues, Mustafa. If that doesn't work, open a ticket with us. So if that doesn't work, go to support.ledger.com, click contact us, start a conversation here, and explain that, select the categories, explain that you have an issue with your Nano X, and we'll ship you a replacement device if the device is still within the warranty period. So don't worry, when you get the the new device, you'll be able to restore your recovery your private keys with your recovery phrase. Kadeem, you're welcome. D. Allen, my cryptocurrency got cleaned out by a thief. I am so sorry about that, Dean. Unfortunately, that can happen if someone gets a hold of your recovery phrase, or they get a hold of your device with the PIN code, or if you sign a transaction that's malicious and it's trying to get your tokens, right? So that's why we encourage folks to only stay within Ledger Live and not blind sign, because it's more dangerous and requires more experience. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. If there's anything we can do, please contact, send us an email. We can help track the funds possibly, and if the police wants to start an investigation, we can help them track the funds. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Next question, Roshni Mind. Why is the Ledger firmware not open source? Will this create problem customer, or are the Ledger users crypto safe in the future? Is Ledger Live available in India? How can I buy the... Okay, so one question at a time. So why is Ledger firmware not open source? So this is a security design decision. The reason why it's not open source is because your Ledger device has a chip called a secure element, which is very difficult to manufacture. And we have an NDA with the company that designs those secure element chips. So this part of the firmware, we cannot open source it. That being said, there's a lot of things that is open source at Ledger. For example, Ledger Live. Ledger Live, the app, is completely open source. You just go to Ledger HQ on GitHub and you will find all the code. The second thing that is open source is these apps here. All the code for the apps on your Ledger device is open source. And this code is very, very important because it's basically the code that can manipulate your private keys. So if you know what the code can do, you know what happens to your private keys. So that part is completely open source. So yeah, so that's for the first question. So don't worry about it. Ledger is a great product, and of course I'm biased, but I was a Ledger user even before I started working for Ledger. It's extremely, extremely safe as long as you don't share your 24-hour recovery phrase, of course. Okay, the next question, is Ledger device available in India? So the answer is yes. You can buy in India via the Ledger store. I think we do have, if you go to the Ledger store on Amazon, there is that's available in India. And also we do have official resellers in India. I'll share that with you in a second. Here, ledger.com, become a reseller. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Reseller. Why did they put India here? Yeah, and there is a reseller here, so you can contact them to get your device. I'll share that with you. Roshni. Okay. All right, next question. Ayub, can I change the battery for Ledger Nano S? Well, the only option is to upgrade to Nano S Plus. So yes, you can change the battery, but that will void warranty. I mean, your device is probably not under warranty anyway, but I would not do it unless you have your recovery phrase, you show that your recovery phrase is accurate. So, and ideally you want a backup device, but definitely make sure that your recovery phrase is backed up, because if you break your device while trying to change the screen and you don't have your recovery phrase, or your recovery phrase is not accurately written down, now you don't have your funds anymore. So what I would do is to grab your Nano S. If the screen is still legible, which might not be the case, but you can do a recovery check with your recovery phrase just to make sure it's correctly backed up. And if it is, then you can attempt to change the device screen. But again, I've seen that backfire, and I've seen people destroying their Ledger device like that. So I would say it's probably safer to get a new device like a Nano S Plus. You recover your funds on the Nano S Plus, and then you attempt surgery, screen surgery on your Nano S. And I'll share this article with you here, the recovery check. Ayub. Next, Peter. Hi Dan, is it... hang on. Yeah, Peter, hi Dan, is it possible that you check my account? Because I lost some coins with swapping. Well, I forgot to open an account for it. So let me get this straight. You swapped from one account to another, but you didn't have the target account. So I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Peter, but can we help? Yes, for sure. All you need to do is go to ledgersupport.com, okay, support.ledger.com, sorry. There's a link in the video description. Send us an email and explain, like, share the transaction ID and the address so we can track the swap and tell you where the funds have gone. Now, if you don't mind sharing your transaction ID here, I can take a look online, but of course this is absolutely not private. So I would recommend that you open a ticket so you can take a look. Next question from Leith. I want to send some coins to Ledger. My question is, I want to send a small amount first and then send the rest. Can I use the same address to send twice? Yes, Leith, you can send it. And that's also true for any blockchain, not just Ethereum, because there are some blockchains where your address will stay the same all the time. Okay, so for example, Ethereum, Tron, Near, a bunch of blockchains. After you send to an address, the address stays the same, right? It's always the same. But there are some blockchains where Ledger will automatically give you a new address after each successful transaction, like Bitcoin, for example. That being said, you can still reuse an old Bitcoin transaction, an old Bitcoin address. Okay, so it's perfectly safe. And the strategy of sending a small amount first is always a good idea. Always a good idea. What I was talking about regarding Bitcoin and the receiving address change, that's for Bitcoin, but also for other crypto. And so I'll share this article with you so you can know a little more what's happening. But again, the main takeaway here is that old, previously used addresses are still active and you can still use them safely. Peter, you're welcome, mate. By the way, Peter, before you go, when you open your tickets, it would be great if you can add your logs to it. The logs are super important for us because they will give us an idea of, they will give us all your account's addresses, so it's easier for us to do some analysis on your accounts. This is how you can export the logs. By the way, it's super safe. It's just not something you want to give someone because you will give them your addresses, but it's safe to share with Ledger support. So I'll drop that into the chat for you as well. So just follow the steps. You'll get a file, a JSON file, which you can attach to the email that you will submit when you open a ticket with us. Okay, next question, Oregon Bar. CoreDAO, Oregon, I'm not sure when CoreDAO will be integrated. It's one of those things where, you know, there is a lot of projects that we need to ship before we can go to CoreDAO. The next and probably the last question, except if you guys have many more questions, then drop them in the chat. If not, D. Allen. So yeah, you said that you lost your coins. Your help desk has been informed and seems to be going around in circles. I was very conscious with keeping my security away from prying eyes. Yes, I know, D, but the thing is, it's not just about not letting people see the phrase, it's also where you store the phrase. So for example, if you took a picture of it, or if you type the phrase into Ledger Live or an app that looks like Ledger Live, but that is actually a scam, or if you typed your recovery phrase anywhere, that could be a potential breach of security. Also, like, you can lose your funds by signing a transaction that's malicious. So there is a lot of things that can happen, unfortunately, that can lead to the loss of coins. But the one that's the most frequent that we see at support is people somehow giving their recovery phrase away to someone. Typically, they will get phished by a fake account or a fake version of Ledger Live that will ask you to type your recovery phrase, and once you do it, now the scammer has your recovery phrase and they'll be able to drain your funds. So Oregon, I read your question. It's coredao.org. So I'm happy to CoreDAO. I'm happy to escalate that request. Okay, decentralized application secured by Bitcoin, built with EVM compatible smart contract on a Bitcoin powered blockchain. Okay. Satoshi Plus consensus. All right, connect wallets. Let me see. This looks like an EVM chain. Okay. Well, I mean, you can definitely access it. If that's what you mean, you can definitely connect your Ledger device to it by just doing a wallet connect here, or a MetaMask or any other wallet. You've got tons of options here. I don't think this is coming to Ledger Live anytime soon, but in terms of securely connecting your account to it, definitely many different ways to do it. For example, Wallet Connect. Yeah, I would not use Wallet Connect for this actually, but maybe MetaMask, yeah. So you would download MetaMask, connect your Ledger device to MetaMask, and then, and then you would connect MetaMask to CoreDAO, and that's it. Connect MetaMask. Here, you can follow these steps here to connect your Ledger device to MetaMask. Oregon. Okay. Boom. Yeah, you're welcome. Make peace. I tried to stake 15 dots and I did. I chose 5 validators and confirmed the transaction. After 2 to 3 minutes, I got message failed. Now showing 15 dot bonded and the wallet is 0. What to do? You can probably unbond those funds. By the way, make peace. The minimum amount to bond to even get a chance of staking rewards is probably over 500 dots at this point. So if you just have 15 dots, just unbond and just go stake something else. Unfortunately, because you'll never get staking rewards with that little amount of dot. You can find the minimum amount of dots needed to get rewards here. Tech, will the Nano X still work with USB if the battery fails? Yes. And same security, right? So you can still use your Nano X just like a Nano S Plus by connecting it physically with a cord if the battery fails. No worries. Targets. So it's not showing now, but hang on. Yeah, it might take some time to show up, but okay. So the minimum. Oh, interesting. So the minimum to nominate now, the minimum to bond to get rewards is 269 dots. So it's gone down considerably, which is good, but you still need this amount. And that's probably like over 1,000 euros. So yeah, we'll just keep that in mind. Rohit Dutta, can we have Lightning support for BTC in Ledger? It's not gonna come anytime soon because Lightning is very difficult to implement for hardware wallets. Most Lightning wallets are actually custodial wallets, so you've got a service that handles your wallet behind the scene, and it's not really self-custodial. It's more like a hosted service. And so generally Lightning doesn't work very well for our solution. So yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath. Make peace, how to unbond those dots if there isn't any option. That might be a bug in Ledger Live, in which case you can unbond using Talisman. So just connect your Ledger device to Talisman and do the unbonding over there. It might also be just a glitch with Ledger Live, but just double check that by connecting your Ledger device to Talisman. See if you can unbond. I'll share the link with you here in the chat if you want to take a look. There is another one called the staking dashboard, which is pretty good. That's the one I used to use when I was staking with on Polkadot. I like the staking dashboard. Yeah, and it's just as secure as using Ledger Live, by the way. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be back live tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. CT, so that's Paris time. If you have any questions, you can still drop your question in the comments after the stream is done. If not, I'll see you at 4:30 p.m. CT, that's again Paris time, with all your questions tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.